Good morning, church family. Great to be with you as always. Here we are, we find ourselves right smack dab in the middle of the Lenten season. And I want to talk to you today about the power of welcoming. And as we find ourselves here in the middle of Lent, I'm sure everybody's been to every Lenten Sunday service, all the Wednesday services. Have you read every Lenten devotion in your book every morning? Well, if you said no, you're in good company because I'm right there with you. I missed a Wednesday, and I haven't read every daily devotion as much as I'd like. But if Lent is the season where God welcomes us to draw closer to Jesus and to deepen our faith, what's kept us away? What's been keeping us away? I think back when I was in 8th grade. Growing up, I had a great family, good friends, but I wasn't really involved in church. Navigating through adolescence was difficult, and I knew that one thing was missing. I just didn't know what that thing was. Until a friend of mine named John invited me to come to his youth group. He said, "Hey, what are you doing Wednesday? We're having a pizza party. You should come." So I did. I had a good time. I liked it. And then a couple weeks later, he said, "Hey, what are you doing this weekend? We're having a big youth rally. There's going to be more kids, more pizza. You should come." And so I did, and I liked it again. And it was that Sunday that I heard a message from the youth pastor that honestly changed my life. He spoke from Luke 15 about the prodigal son, a story of a young man who leaves his family, leaves his father behind, takes all of his money for his inheritance early, and says, "See you, Dad, I'm going to go off and do my own thing." He goes off and he celebrates and he wastes and parties and spends all his money, and then a famine comes and he can't get a good job and nobody will help him. So he decides, if I can go back to my father's house and say how sorry I am and confess to all the wrong things I've done, then maybe, just maybe, my father will let me come back home. Well, on his walk home, while he was still far off, his father saw him coming, and his father runs out to his son, greets him and opens his arms and embraces him and kisses him and welcomes him home and throws a party, a nice big welcome home party. This welcoming of the Father. This is Jesus' story about God who's loving, who's forgiving, and who's always welcoming. And so this story affected me, and I went home and I read it in my Bible over and over again, and I talked to my friend John who invited me, who welcomed me over and over again. I said, "Are you saying that no matter what I do, no matter what I say, God is always going to love me, forgive me, and welcome me?" And he said, "Yes, God will always do that." And so from that point on, I was involved in youth group, and I was involved in youth choir and youth retreats and service project. I was involved in everything until college, when I got involved in other things. And I wasn't going to church. Some weekends I was studying, some weekends I was partying like a prodigal. Until another friend of mine came up to me and said, "Hey, I noticed you aren't going to church anymore. Let me welcome you to my church." And so I started going to the Lutheran church. And I haven't worn out my welcome yet. Still here. But it makes me wonder, if I really think about it, the things that keep me away when I was in 8th grade or when I was in college, they really aren't the same. I mean, they really aren't that different than the things that will keep me away today. But the one thing that I've never forgotten is that I always have a Father who loves me, who forgives me, and always, no matter what, he welcomes me back home. And so, in this middle of the season of Lent, as the end is coming, there's, just like in the prodigal son, there's a big party. That's Easter. And we're going to have a lot of celebrating going on here. You guys know we're doing our Sunday school Easter party. It's coming up on Palm Sunday. We're going to have a party. It's going to be an Easter egg hunt, and we want everybody to be there. And I'm sure you know that on Easter, it's a wonderful celebration. And guess what? The youth group will be cooking pancakes once again, something we haven't done in a couple years, and we're happy to do that again. So your church family wants everybody here to celebrate all those things, and that's not the end of it. The party continues. Even through the summer, we'll have wonderful youth retreats for high school, for junior high, middle school, and vacation Bible school. And so we want everybody to feel welcomed and to be a part of that. So what's keeping you away? Is it school? Is it work? Is it the pandemic? Is it the shame? Is it sadness? Is it all these other things that we get involved in? No matter what they are, never forget your church family is welcoming you, and that you have a God who loves you and forgives you and is always welcoming you home. no matter what. Amen.